this out for everybody to kind of chime in and really even thinking about your own, like how you have discovered and have established yourself in purpose. How much of it in God's way is a matter of trust in Him versus intelligence gained, right? I say that because, well, I might as well just keep talk a little bit about it. Those are one of those contrasting opposites between the world's way and God's way. And that's why I see a lot of believers, they get, purpose seems elusive to them because they're used to being in a system to where you purpose is something you would develop in your intelligence, that you gain confidence in your purpose by book knowledge, where in God's way you gain confidence through your furthering trust in Him. You know, you gain confidence and reassurance through, once again, putting your faith in Him. That purpose becomes clear the more you're willing to trust Him with what you were doing. That it doesn't unlock because you've raised your intellect. It doesn't, you don't feel more secure in your purpose that God's called you to, because you've become more confident in what you bring to the table, right? Like, and those are complete opposites, right? Like I've, when I've talked to people when they're working their way out of one system and into the other, man, they're just, it feels unfamiliar for me to be feeling confident about what I'm doing when I'm doing something based on the trust that I have in God.
Yeah.
But
Like,
there's no college degree in trust. You can't go to school and get a college degree in trusting. That's the spiritual part of it. It's developing that relationship with God and really trusting God.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing something and you really don't know why you're doing it. And the smartest thing to do is just turn it over to Him and trust that I'll make this work. I'll show you how this is going to work. I'll line this up for you. And it's about trusting in Him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds so, the world's way is so complicated. Religion is so complicated. God's way is so simple. And often it sounds like an oversimplification. But I think this starts with, if I was to take your question, make it personal. Like, man, how did I get into purpose? It started with, I gave myself to God. I trusted Him with my life, not just with my purpose or calling or work. There was a point that I came to where I said, okay, God, like, I'm yours. And then He starts leading and you end up someplace, right? But I think there's so many Bible examples of it just being that simple. I'm thinking about when Paul is going on and talking about the gift that the Macedonian churches prepared for the people in Jerusalem. He said, and he's getting down. Why did they do it? Yeah, we know that their depth of poverty and their something else mixed together, right? But when you get down to verse 8, I think it is, he says they first gave themselves to God.
Yeah.
They first gave themselves to God. Then they gave themselves to us as God's leadership or God's representatives. And what they did next was based on what they did first.
Yeah.
And I think that's the answer. Like, what did you do first? Did you first give yourself to God? Give yourself to God. That will lead you to what you're going to do next.
You know, it's interesting. You come in it here at that. The scripture that does come to mind is trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. And it's interesting to retroactively think about that because, I mean, I've been working in this church since I was 18. And coming here there was no grand plan, right? There was not in the beginning. It really wasn't. It was, hey man, literally my dad's actual words, hey man, why don't you come work here instead of where you working at? You can help me do some stuff at the church. All right. And so in my mind, it was in actuality a temporary thing. I would come do some stuff and then I go do the thing that I was going to do. But as time progressed, there was an opening up of a clarity. I didn't say opening up, but a clarity of purpose. There were some things God had told me about ministry, but I hadn't connected them in that way. But as I began to serve in the church, work in the church, be around what was happening, God then began to show more and more of what my purpose was inside of what this is supposed to be. But then to your point, well, now I make an observation of my father and my mother and those that were around. And I'm watching a different way of approaching all of this. And the now you talk 26 years later, and granted, what I kept, like I said, I walked into this not expecting any of it. But as time is progressing, you go, okay, here's what I know. God said this. And now he's starting to connect dots. Here's a connector. There's a connector. There's another connector. There's a trust. As I trust him, right? Because like I said, I had a plan. And the plan didn't include working at the church. Right? Funny enough, the church was not out of the sphere, it just wasn't the plan. And so as I began to work and serve and be a part of ministry in that regard, now the purpose became more and more and more clear. Now here's the cool part to me. The clarity only got better over time. Right? Because if you'd asked me 20 years ago, I'd have said, okay, yeah. I'm gonna be doing this. And I would have attached all that I was doing at the time to what I thought the end result of that thing would be. Fast forward, I don't know, Dad's been passed away down what, 8 years, 9 years, whatever it's been. At that point, I thought I was in the fulfillment of my purpose. The hey, I hit the pinnacle. I'm there. And then we move forward and look at today. Something altogether different.
If you know, um, I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna throw another question, right?
Okay.
But because I think it's something that people don't actually challenge themselves to answer. And every time I ask somebody this question, people normally go blank, because they never really think about it. But as you go, why do you want to know your purpose, and what good does knowing it bring to your life?
Good question. And it's one that today I would say, man, you can keep the purpose part, right? And I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but man, I just do whatever God wants me to do. I'd rather be obedient to the day's assignment and not be so worried about what I might call purpose. And I mean that in the sense of a specific assignment, right? Because over time, I've done all kinds of stuff. And if the one thing was the only thing, then man, I missed the boat a long time ago,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. But no, okay, man, I just to that point of trust, God, I want to trust you because I know a lot over time, a lot of any of what I'm doing has hung on God didn't tell me to do nothing different. He didn't tell me to do nothing different. So no, he said be here or do that. All right. Well, if I was living out this as people would term it purpose, my purpose is to name that that field or name that assignment or that career. Well, yeah, I mean, if that was the case, I lost path a long time ago. But I love that Pastor Nick started at, at this time, my purpose was take care of my family. My purpose was not this specific job.
Mm-mm.
It was take care
It
of my
wasn't even
family.
making rank in the military. That
So-
wasn't my focus.
All the things that were necessary to care for the family
Yeah.
were under the assignment of purpose.
I think where a lot of people are mistaken too is they want to assign purpose. They want to attach purpose to an assignment. Purpose is bigger than that. God's way.
And
It's bigger than that.
and here's the thing, right? When you answered the question, right, it also helped ease the tension around
Yeah.
it. And I didn't expect, expect nobody else, but what is the value of knowing your purpose and what does it bring to your life? When you answer the question,
I don't know. We can all imagine the variety of answers that you would give, but I'll participate. I'm gonna answer the question, right?
I love
And,
this.
but I'm doing this with the thing that I have right now. Ask the first question again. I'm
so
gonna answer it.
purpose, what value does it bring to your life, right? And what good does it bring to you? Like, what's the value of knowing it and what good does it bring to you, right?
I would say now, my best answer is it tells me what to do. It tells me what to do. That's the first part. And the second one was it gives direction. So it tells me what to do. I know what to do because I know my purpose. I know what to do. And then it adds direction. I know which way to go.
So-
That would be my response.
Of course, right? Not. First off, yes. Just think about this simple response. Most people don't really have an answer for that. They realize they've been chasing something that they don't really understand the value that it brings. They're like, I want to know my purpose. Well, what value does knowing it bring to you? I don't even know. Most people, they don't have a response. And I tell them, the moment you answer that, you'll realize that you first of all, when you met Jesus, you already have what you need, right? Right. A simple way I would say it is, just to make it on both sides, is it focuses my actions and eliminates my distractions. When I know my purpose, it helps me focus my actions and eliminate distractions. That's what purpose does. What if that's the only thing you can do with knowing it? The only value it brings to you knowing it is it helps you focus your actions and eliminate distractions. That's the value it brings to you on a day-to-day basis. Back to your answer, you actually you said it, you answered it your way. You said, yeah, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what God's telling me to do. I think that also eliminates distractions
And
and focuses your actions.
And
I
on the-
think
and on the
of-
flip side of that, I always say, a lot of times when I'm talking to different people, I say it's either an asset or a liability. It allows me to focus on my assets and eliminate liability.
Right. Because if you say my purpose is provider, that's gonna focus my actions and eliminate distractions. I'm saying, well, I realize this because if you ever sit down and answer the question, you'll realize, first of all, as in God's way, as being a believer, there's already a book full of things that help you eliminate distractions and focus your actions, right? Because we're trying to put purpose in a career. We're trying to make purpose, and it's like the fruit of it. Well,
There's something I've heard you talk about recently. Something that causes us to delay action or movement is because we're often living in like almost like the fantasy of things
Yeah.
instead of the reality,
Oh, that's
right?
good.
Yeah.
Answering that
That's good.
question brings me out of the fantasy, like my purpose is to make $1 million. Well, you can say that every day for the next 20 years and not do anything
Anything.
because that's
Because
fantasy.
how does that eliminate distractions and focus your actions? That alone opens up distractions. You know how many ways you can make $1 million?
So would it even be beneficial for a person to almost like work backwards? Start with that question. If you feel that your purpose has been elusive, like start with this question. Ask yourself, well, what do I need to be doing?
Right.
And what is distracting me from doing it?
Yeah.
If I identify those things, then I'm
You're
going to
actually all right.
I'm actually all right, right?
like you actually are moving in purpose because you're moving in purpose. You don't have to quote know the destination to move in purpose, right? And that's the thing. I think people get them too confused too. A lot of times you ask people what's their purpose, they start naming destinations. Well, that's not a purpose because it's not helping you focus your actions and eliminate distractions. That doesn't do that. And so that's why, right. I hope y'all with me. That is why even when someone's in a career, they can feel like they're not walking in purpose because it's not focusing their actions and eliminating distractions, right? You won't feel as though you are living a purpose-led life until there's something that's causing you to focus your actions and eliminate distractions. It won't unlock. You won't feel it. Why do I feel as though I'm living a purpose-driven life? Because every day there is something that's making me focus my actions and eliminate distractions. I can't go here because I got to do this. I can't go there because I got to do this. I'm doing this, right? I'm doing this because I need to see that. That's what purpose feels like. But a career won't make you do that. Right? A job won't bring that out of you. A title won't bring that out of you. None of these things will bring that out of you. That's why you can have the title, you can have the job, you can have the career, you can have done a lot of things and still feel like I haven't discovered my purpose. Why? Because nothing is causing you to focus and eliminate. Right? But God, when he moves into you, his word causes you to focus and eliminate. Not a kingdom issue. What is that? Focus and elimination. Right. Like, is it bringing glory to him? Focus and elimination. Right.
Matthew 6. What am I supposed to be thinking about? Oh, seeking the kingdom first, and don't think about that's focus
and elimination. That's purpose driven living. Right, that's God's way, and that's why it's like say it feels until you like I say you got to sit down and you just make them answer the question, and then as they start to answer, they'll be like, why you want to know it? What do you? What's the value this information gonna bring to you? If you know, and I love it because as people of God. For one, and we were engrafted into purpose. That's the beauty of being a child of God. You were engrafted into purpose. That you don't actually get a choice anymore. Right? You're in
Not if you're focused.
Not if you're focused. you are actually in a lineage. You are in you're part of a heritage now. Like if you didn't have a family, welcome to it. You know, you have legacy. You're the seed of Abraham, right? You're continuing what was started in Christ. All this is focusing and eliminating what you do.
And I think it's important that people stop worried about what they don't have or didn't have and realize where God has placed them now and what they do have. The examples they have before them. The word that we can get into. That's why it's so good to come to a church that teaches the word.
Right.
I'm giving you the things you need to focus on so that your purpose becomes clearer.
Yeah.
But if you keep going, you can't come to church and then you run over here and you're going doing this and doing what you used to do.
Yeah.
You're not focused.
right? Because what we talk, wait,
You're not focused.
check this out, right? It's right there. It's right there in the words. Where purpose is known is unknown, abuse is inevitable.
That's
What am
right.
I abusing? I'm abusing my time and my choices.
That's right.
I'm abusing my time and my choices.
right.
The people feel like they've fallen out of purpose because nothing today has sharpened me. Nothing today has focused my actions. Nothing today has eliminated distraction. Right. So it
That's
doesn't.
because you're not coming to revealing truth and hearing the word. If you come
Exactly.
up- If you
Right,
say
like,
like,
so you-
revealing truth and get this word, you can become more
Oh yeah, we
focused. It'll help you
can.
become
We
more
gonna
focused.
keep you. We keep you right here on track.
And guess
Right.
what, Pastor Brian? It ain't got nothing to do with how old
Yeah.
you are, or how young you were when you started after your daddy passed.
Right.
You should have stuck around and kept hearing this good word.
It's saying you go.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
That's true.
Hey, listen. You know, and here's the thing, right? Because you help people go through that Rolodex, right?
Yeah.
And like you say, it is important,
Yeah.
right? Because I know people hear me. I'm like, no, like just no. I can sit there with somebody, and I can tell when you said something that's gonna focus your action and eliminate your distractions,
Yeah.
right? Like what I can tell when you said it.
Yeah.
So you can't throw the fluff out. Oh,
No.
I'm gonna be an airplane pilot. There is nothing about that that's gonna focus your today.
No.
Yeah.
That's a dream. That's a goal, and ain't nobody
We ain't shooting that down.
shooting that down.
No.
Like nobody's shooting that down. But trust me, that's the fruit of you walking in purpose.
Yes.
That's gonna be the fruit of you living a purpose-driven life.
I think when you say, and what are you gonna, what is it gonna benefit you? It's gonna give you that peace that no, I'm walking with God and He's got His hands on me. He's guiding me every step I take.
But you hear what I'm saying? The only way purpose can bring you peace if it's helping you focus and eliminate.
Yes.
So people like you can if it's not active. If you hear what I'm saying, you have not hit the core of the purpose God has for you in this season until it actively, day by day, gets you to focus and eliminate.
Yes.
Because that is the value of purpose. It's to help you focus and eliminate daily. The only way. That's the only way. And some people, I get it. Somewhere on your path, you're gonna be X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that right now today don't help you focus and eliminate.
No.
It doesn't. And that's why sometimes
No. I was going. Well, you finished that, but yeah.
okay. So
My bad.
I'm just going to other principles that are God's way, right?
Yeah.
What does that get me to do? That gets me to be faithful of what is little, right? So I can be ruler over that which is much. Many people's purpose is their much, right? That when you ask them what's your purpose, they'll label something that's much. But you need something that helps you focus over the little. So what your purpose today, it needs to help you manage a little.
Yeah.
Right. So how is you tomorrow? You're gonna have to wake up.
Because you can't see the future. No way. Like even when you start walking with God, but many people, and we're talking to believers who feel that like their purpose is elusive.
Yeah.
You're trying to predict the outcome when He told you the outcome will exceed your expectation.
Well,
so that shows us that this is not a good
First of all, you started to get on
start.
you started to get on one of the messages, right? We gonna talk about it right now. Right. Because guess what? All as believers,
Yes.
as believers, I can't wait. I can't wait to preach about how we done got confused and all set. We got to get back on track. As believers, we should wake up every day looking for a harvest, not an opportunity.
Mhm.
Harvest, not an opportunity.
Mhm.
Why? Because we believe in seed, time, and harvest. In other words, at every moment, every day is a seed sowing day for a harvest that is to come. Well, who's Lord over the harvest? God is Lord over the harvest, right? And so what do you say? I'm saying that to what you were saying, Pastor Lamar. So today I need something that will help me focus and eliminate, so I'm planting good seed today.
Yeah.
Because I'm expecting a harvest to come.
Yeah.
And so I'm not looking for opportunities. I'm not looking for something to come out the sky,
No.
right? Because my harvest should, or at least it's going to resemble my seed,
Yes.
right? But when you
Yes.
have a bunch of believers who stop sowing seed, I'm not just talking about financially, I'm talking about in the actions and the deeds you do on a daily basis.
Yes.
Of course, you have a group of believers that's no longer looking for a harvest.
Yes.
But my point is to say you'll never be a good whatever you're looking to be, right?
Yeah.
That if I'm gonna use this as a slight little trail, right? That it's almost like going out. I went to a JV football game the other day. Now I know, on that football field, these kids want to be professional football players.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: there is no step from this field to the NFL.
No.
There is no step. There's no step that there ain't no opportunity that's gonna get you from this field to that field tomorrow.
Correct.
There is time in between.
Seed, time, and harvest.
There is time in between.
Yeah.
There's time in between. You got to
You got to go through the time.
you got to go through varsity.
Yeah.
You got to go to college.
Yes.
You got to make it through training. No. Then you can get to the. There is time in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the only way you're gonna get to the NFL is if you manage this field right.
Right now.
Yeah. See,
You
I
you.
think
But
that's
the.
the
Well,
good
I just want to
stuff,
go. Here's
right?
where I go. The problem we have today is people refuse to honor their current field.
Yeah.
So they're like, no, my purpose is to be a football player.
Mhm.
In order to be an NFL football player, you got to honor the JV
You
field.
gotta start in Pee-wee.
You got to honor the JV field. You got to honor the JV field. Here's the thing about the JV field. On the JV field, I was listening to some professional football players talk the other day, and they said the worst thing you could do is have a kid start in a skilled position.
Yeah.
And they were all talking about, back to your point, Pastor Mark, they were all talking about the positions they played in Pee Wee football.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh man, I was the quarterback." They ended up being a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Oh, I was the outside linebacker.
Yeah.
Oh, they're now a wide receiver.
How many
Right, like-
quarterbacks turned into wide receivers?
Like we, I don't think you get it. Like we was all doing things and being things in a seed sowing season.
Yeah.
And then like, I thank God. Someone was like, I thank God I learned defense. My coach made me play defense because it made me a better offensive player.
Yeah.
Like, but at the end of the day, I wanted to be in the NFL.
Yeah.
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 So when they came and said, you gonna be drafted
Yeah.
as a wide receiver, I put my
Sign me
DB days behind me.
Sign
But
me up.
believers don't do that.
No.
They like, oh, God called me to be a wide receiver. They
Okay.
get the JV field, they can't be a DB. They can't serve as a DB. You know,
Yeah.
they can't. And
Oh,
No.
my
See,
God.
see,
Now, that's
see.
good.
I heard
That's good.
a lady talking
it.
about her son the other day.
Mhm.
Her son went to a very expensive school, ironically enough to be a pilot. He went through the whole thing, got to the end, found out he was colorblind. You know what he can't do as a pilot? Fly a plane. Now, here's the beauty of it. All that education, because it wasn't purposeless, he was able to turn into something that he actually enjoys doing today.
Wow.
He took all of that time, took all of that education, because what our current way of looking at things says is, oh man, you wasted all that time. Go get a whole new education, go do something else. He said, no, we're gonna take all this education, and while I may not be behind, or in the seat of a pilot, the cockpit, I can take all this and do something else that values all this time that I've acquired, the information that I've picked up, everything there. And as believers, which I guess that's the clarity to what I was thinking. All right, cool. There's a thing that you might be becoming, but all this stuff in between here and there, you have to value it. Into your words, I should be reaping a harvest day to day.
And it ties
None of
right back to
this.
seed, time, and harvest.
None of
Time
this
and
is
harvest.
worthless.
you-
None of
you
this
just,
is worthless.
Man, you just want to, and that's what I'm just want to help people to see that what you're truly looking for is something that will help you focus your actions and eliminate your distractions. You know, when it comes to the title you carry, the man, that's
It's kind of irrelevant.
That's a bad that is, first of all, in the kingdom of God, that's not your title. And so that's not going to be fulfilling. That's why you see a lot of people accomplish great things or great titles. They don't feel fulfilled. Why? Because they don't have anything that's focusing them.
I'm just going to add this for like there are people who they start very early on a professional track and they learn the professional way and the lingo and they learn how to climb the ladder. But to point out the reality of it, the reality is even when you get in the position that you dream to be in since you were knee high to a,
Mhm.
what did it say?
Mhm,
To a
grasshopper.
grasshopper,
Yeah.
you get in that position and you look for the next
Yeah,
Right,
because
yeah.
It's-
that ain't it.
because that's not it.
No.
That's the reality.
'Cause
You look to the next thing
'cause you-
because that
and I say
isn't
this too, right? Why do a lot of people look for the next thing? Because you remember how focused you were getting to this place. Now that you got here, you no longer feel that same sense of urgency in your actions. You no longer feel that same sense of focus. So like now that I've achieved this thing, that's where, and I'm gonna cross this over to another area that could be slightly controversial, just a little bit. But that's why, man, even when you talk about in marriage, it's so important that you didn't make the ceremony the goal. That if the ceremony was the purpose, most of those marriages don't last. Why? Because the ceremony had your focus. The ceremony eliminated distractions.
Took
Like
all
I'm
your money.
took like I'm gonna make
or
sure
directed where your money is gonna go.
I'm gonna make sure I make it to this altar.
Yep.
But now you're a
But
married
now-
man
yeah.
and you got
Now what?
wandering eyes. Well, why are you a married man with wandering eyes?
Yeah.
Because
All
there's
you
nothing to
start doing is get to the
focus
altar.
and eliminate.
Yeah.
Like you're
After the
Mission-
altar.
To you, mission accomplished.
Your
I got to the altar.
your
I got
purpose
to the
was
altar.
to be married, not
Yeah.
be a good husband.
No.
Right?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
my
Yeah.
God.
now you got to upgrade the purpose. Now you got to want to be a good husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to just be a husband. You want to be a good husband.
Yeah.
I want to be a
Good.
better husband than I was last year.
Yes.
This gonna help you focus and
Yeah.
eliminate.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know that this is what happens. You get you say, so you're like, man, he looked so happy. How'd he end up cheating? Because he was there for the ceremony.
And that thing
Oh.
over.
He was there for the title. He wasn't there for the substance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? There was nothing that drove substance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing that guided
Good.
daily decision making.
Right.
You know, that one of the things that I love to hear, and it's so awesome when I hear a man and even women say, I want to be a man of God.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, it doesn't focus and
Right.
eliminate.
You know what? And I was you just gave me a alley. I don't know if they still call it alley.
Oh, yeah.
Dime. You
Let's
threw
go
me a
ahead.
dime. What I've realized, I got saved when I was 16. I saved when I was 16. I got saved. I'll say it like this for the sake of this conversation, but God used purpose to save me. I was trying to figure out what I was supposed to do with my life
Mhm.
at 16 because what I was doing previously, I couldn't do no more. I was not doing what I was supposed to do. Got caught. Now I got to do something different.
Mhm.
And he said, preach. So I moved forward trying to have a life that looked like a preacher. I figured the first thing I needed to do was start reading my Bible, right? I
Yeah.
got to read my Bible, got to go to church. You know, after 30 years, what I've realized is that, man, what if this wasn't about preaching? This was about me learning how to be a man of God.
Yeah.
Man of God.
Yes, sir.
And in me just eliminating distractions and
Wow.
being focused on being a man of God.
That's good.
There are many things that you get to do.
Yes.
There are many things that
Yeah.
you end up doing.
You God reworks and puts desires in your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? To focus actions, eliminate distractions.
Yeah.
Right? That the Bible that they were drawn away by their own lusts. They were drawn away by their own entices of their flesh.
Yeah.
Right? That you it was out of line. So God comes in and he reworks what that inner working gives you a desire that'll keep you focused and help you eliminate.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because he'll give you desires that he's not even looking for you to achieve. You know, it's not about achieving, it's about how it switches your pursuit, your current pursuit. And I tell you all the time, folk, like pay attention to when God's telling you to do something that transitions your pursuit.
Yeah.
Because he's, like, man,
He's moving you.
and I ask people all the time, y'all, I always ask people questions because it helps reveal what's in their heart. But when someone comes to me and they're like, man, I believe God's calling me to be something different. I said, well, does it call you to do something different?
Right.
Because I don't see why God would call you to be something different if it doesn't call you to do something different. Right? Like he's always transforming us.
Yes.
And so if he's always transforming us, then what he's calling you to should cause you to have to change. It should cause you to have to renew your mind to another place.
Yep.
Here's the thing. You may the object that you're focusing on may not be the thing you need to achieve.
Right.
It doesn't work that way either.
Right.
But yeah, to your point, Pastor Lamar, you start to realize, man, I that happens to me a lot more than probably people realize, is that the sole thing, being a pastor isn't the sole thing that focuses my life.
Mm.
There was nothing like when being a great father got added.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing like when being a great husband got added.
Yeah.
Right? That each one of these things focuses my actions and eliminates distractions in a different way.
Way more.
Right?
And I just want to add this too, because in being that, I mean, as far as that's concerned, we have similar calling. There's so many definitions of pastor. It's
Oh my
too
God.
varied.
Too
There's
varied.
too many. Like there's pastor that I ain't even trying to go that far.
Yeah.
So me trying to
Yes.
pursue that,
Right.
nah, that wouldn't do it.
Yes.
That wouldn't get
Look,
it
but
done.
Pastor Lamar, but he said, but 30 years ago, it got me out my seat.
It
There you
got
go.
me
It
moving.
focused my actions. It changed eliminated some
Oh, yeah.
distractions.
Right.
And you continue to let God like just
Refine,
Exactly.
refine. And that is what led me to the point of, man, I just want to do what God said.
Yeah.
Because pastor was the title that got me to a point. But when the assignment, when you realize, to your point,
Right.
pastor as a title
Right.
has the longest description you've ever seen in your life.
Yes.
It's like, okay, God, what you want to do with me? How you want me to do? Because it did lead to a point, which is a good thing. Because without the title, there's a lot that probably wouldn't have happened. But with the title, it brought on the focus, the elimination, and brought us to the point that we are able to be in today. It's beautiful.
Praise God.
That's beautiful.
Well, Pastors Terry and Nick Dickerson, we've had great conversation, and there's so much more, and we look forward to continuing the sermon series because there's so much more to this point that is very beneficial and helpful to those who are viewing. And I'm so grateful that this was fleshed out, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of people who are grateful as well. Thank you so much for being here with
Thank
us.
you
We
for having us.
appreciate you.
Really enjoy it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us in this moment as well. And this concludes today's deeper dive. But listen, as you go through this day, go through it knowing that we love you. God does too. Keep attending and keep being most blessed. We'll see you soon.
Amen. Amen.